Hello and welcome. This is Trevor Crow, Trevor and Friends, and I'm going to start the show today with I am so sorry Charlie Kirk is dead and he was assassinated in such a horrendous public way. Absolutely, I abhor any use of violence for anything, and this is truly wrong. And I also respected the way he used his voice and how he connected people. I did not agree with him on pretty much everything he said, frankly, especially around women, black women, women, across the board. But he did not deserve to die that way. And this is not who we are as American citizens. We believe in free speech. We believe in the First Amendment. We believe in being able to express our opinions, although they may be very different from our neighbor. So I ask every one of you listening today to think very carefully about your conversations, about being curious about somebody else thinks and what their opinion is, not jump to conclusions, which we've already done. We really do not know what his ideology was yet because he hasn't spoken, or excuse me, the shooter. I don't even want to name that person. He doesn't deserve to be named. And again, I just want to remind everybody that as a country, we have agreed to listen to one another, to not shut one another down, to not threaten one another, dox one another if we have different opinions. So look deep into your heart. And the whole reason for this show, frankly, is that I say we need to listen and learn about one another and see the world from different perspectives. So again, I am so sorry, and rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. But we all must step back for a moment, bring the rhetoric down, and truly stop and turn and love one another. So that's my thing for today. The last piece is rest in peace, Robert Redford. I had a huge crush on you back when I was like 10 years old. So anyway, I will miss him. Sitting next to me, happily, I am delighted to welcome Hilary Ormond. She is a town council member in the town of New Canaan. New Canaan, if you guys don't all know this, is part of our district, District 36 for State Senate. I was lucky enough to get to know Hilary when I ran first time around, and today she's on the town council. She's running again. And so tell me, Hilary, first of all, what brought you to politics? Why did you want to run for town council?
Thank you, Trevor, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. It's good to see you again. Town council and local politics are really in my blood. My mom has always been involved in local politics in my hometown in Virginia. She's been a member of their elected town council or city council, for over 30 years. She first ran, I was the youngest of three. She first ran when I graduated from high school. So after raising us, she really pursued local politics and put this sort of community service bug in me. I have had several professions. I graduated from the University of Virginia, moved to New York City, worked in fashion for several years, got a master's degree in forensic psychology.
Wow.
And then went on to get a law degree from Fordham. And I worked as a litigator for many, many years.
That is incredible.
Yeah, so
I love that combination, fashion psychology and litigation. That's like truly incredible.
Well, and it's like I tell a lot of people that I meet that are in college or trying to think of what they want to do in their 20s that you can always reinvent yourself. You can always pursue something that you love, that you want to try. Certainly resources have a lot to do with it. I was lucky enough that college was in state and my parents helped me out with that. But graduate school and law school, that was all on me. And I happily did it. I've loved the careers that I've had. And so now I'm in the political spectrum and it's been a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's been a lot of fun.
Well, you certainly have a lot to bring to the table when it comes to town council. And I know you've been really important in creating a lot of areas for New Canaan that needed to be addressed and thought about. And apparently, especially because I remember when I was there campaigning, housing is a big deal. 830G is a big deal. And New Canaan really was resistant to coping with it. So how have you jumped in and added to the conversation?
That's a great question. I think affordable housing is really one of the key issues today. In Connecticut and nationally, but certainly in Connecticut. And I will say, I think having dove into this issue since I've been on town council and a little bit before, New Canaan's actually done an incredible job building affordable housing, complying with 830G. We have a really big complex that's beautiful and on beautiful grounds at Canaan Parish. We have Millport, and Millport was initially built as housing for returning veterans from World War II. And since we've done that, we've been able to keep it affordable. On Town Council, I'm on the Bylaws and Ordinances Committee, so it's sort of a subcommittee of our legislative body. So our Town Council is the legislative body in New Canaan, and we write and all the bylaws and ordinances that impact our town, and not I don't want to say restrict what can be done in town, but tell you what's allowable. Noise ordinances. Right now I'm in the middle of trying to draft for debate a leaf blower ordinance, a seasonal leaf blower, which I know you have in Greenwich.
Yes.
So we've used Greenwich
here.
Yes, so I've been using that as a model, and it's really to get something on paper to debate. But yes, affordable housing is something that I feel very passionately about. I think that 830G is a flawed law, but it is the law, and we have to comply with it. And I think we can work with our representatives in Hartford, which is something I've tried to do across the aisle, and my Democrat representatives and Republican representatives, to come up with some easy, what I consider to be easy, common sense amendments to 830G. But in the meantime, we need to comply with it. So New Canaan's done a great job. Like I said, we have those two complexes. We bought Riverview, which was an Avalon property.
I was about to ask about that. I thought that was an interesting move.
Yes. So our housing authority purchased Riverview. It was an Avalon property. And now we're working to convert some of those units into affordable housing, which is going to be good. And the way it's going to work in New Canaan, because we have limited land on which to build and sort of a limited infrastructure as far as water and sewer, it's about a mile radius around those plants. Land is limited. And we also want it to fit within neighborhoods and sort of look organic, and also meet the needs of our communities. So what we try to do is achieve what's called moratoriums from 830G. So it's a very sort of complicated scheme, and I'm going to try to boil it down. If a town achieves a moratorium, and New Canaan is one of the few in Connecticut that have achieved multiple ones, about 3% of your housing stock needs to be affordable. So we have one that goes through 2028. We think with the Riverview acquisition and some of the carryover units we have, we will get another moratorium through 2032.
Great.
Yes. And then right now what we're doing, and what I did as a member of the Bylaws and Ordinances Committee, is we established an Affordable Housing Committee, to which I am a liaison from Town Council. And we're looking at town-owned sites to build 100% affordable housing.
Interesting.
Which I think is critical, because if a developer comes in under 830G and wants to build, only a portion of the units need to be affordable, and they sunset after 40 years. If we build 100% affordable and it's run by New Canaan, it can stay deed restricted affordable in perpetuity, which I think is the goal. So what we want to do is make sure that our seniors are taken care of, make sure that families who want to get into our schools are taken care of, and that the needs of our community is met.
It's wonderful. And what I love this conversation is, again, back when I was campaigning, there were people who were just against 830G, come hell or high water, absolutely no. I'm not remembering the group, 116.
Yeah, 169 strong.
Exactly. And truly, we do need this housing. We need to think about this intelligently, creatively, across the aisle, and figure out a way to support families and hopefully young people returning, people who are just starting their careers, who normally cannot afford to come back to their hometowns in many cases. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that you're doing this, that you're working with Town Council. Is there any like best practices between towns in Connecticut where you would share some of these experiences with, like Greenwich or Darien or anywhere we can kind of like come together and go, what do you guys do? What's working? What's not?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, one of the first things that we did as an Affordable Housing Committee, and I have to give John Goodwin, our former chair, Chris Wilson, our current chair, former vice chair, Jane Williams, did a lot of the organizing around this. We had people from Darien and Greenwich and other towns come in, tell us what they're doing, what their strategy is with respect to affordable housing, so that we can sort of build a best practices model and figure out what's worked there, what hasn't worked. Do we need a trust fund that just goes to affordable housing? I will say New Canaan does have an affordable housing account that's set aside whenever you get a permit to build on your house or to renovate. Then you pay into this affordable housing fund, which is terrific. But yeah, we are looking across
So smart.
all sister towns and trying to figure out the best way to go about it.
I would hope anybody here listening, this is, of course, Greenwich, Connecticut. This is WGCH. I am Trevor Crow. The show is Trevor and Friends. I'm speaking with Hilary Ormond, Town Council member in New Canaan. We're talking about housing and how to kind of up our affordable housing units in a way that works with our communities. And there is, again, creative, intelligent ways to do this. And I don't know if we do that here in Greenwich. Do we reach out to other towns and ask for best practices? I don't know. I wonder if somebody can text me, email me, and tell me where we're at. Yeah. But I think it's a great idea, and we definitely have some work to do.
Oh, sure. And I think, listen, this is how we get businesses to New Canaan. This is how we increase the overall tax base in New Canaan. You have to have places for people to live.
Gotta live.
And, we have terrific schools. We have beautiful parks. We have this amazing library that can be shared. And I think, we have to be considerate about it. We have to make sure that our schools aren't overwhelmed, that our infrastructure isn't overwhelmed, that we have the roads that can take this on. And I think only we can achieve that best at a local level. And that's what New Canaan's working to do and what I'm working really hard to do. And I will say, one of the people on my slate, Lena Lee, she's such a wonderful addition to our slate. She it's the executive director of the Connecticut Bar Association.
Wow.
When she worked in New York City, she had a nonprofit, and one of the things that they did was litigate against predatory developers coming into neighborhoods in New York City and trying to use housing laws so that they could build high density projects. And so she's a great addition. I look forward to picking her brain, and maybe she can sit on the Affordable Housing Committee. But she's a wonderful addition. So we just have a really strong slate. I wanted to plug them.
That's pretty cool. So I just kind of, before we even jumped on the radio, I was asking Hilary about the structure of your town. The government, really, you don't have an RTM, you don't have a board of estimate and taxation. It sounds like you guys get through a lot of decisions a little faster than we do, perhaps. I don't know. Talk to me. Tell our listeners, again, may not really know how New Canaan is run.
Sure. Thank you for that question. I think that's a great question. Connecticut has 169 towns who all run in their own way, which is lovely, but also confusing. So New Canaan's one of the towns that we have a board of selectmen, which is a first selectman who's sort of like your mayor, and then two selectmen. They are elected. I call them sort of the executive branch of our government, if you want to analogize to the federal government. Then next we have a board of finance that's appointed. So I understand most people, the taxation board is elected. We've gone back and forth in our charter review processes over many years to question whether the board of finance should be elected or appointed. I will say we have an incredible appointed board of finance. One thing that always blows me away about New Canaan are the heavy hitters we have in every industry, and then on top of that, they donate their time.
That's amazing.
They give their time to volunteer to these boards and commissions, which is incredible. So shout out to our Board of Finance because they are excellent. And then we have the Town Council that I sit on, and that's sort of the legislative branch. So our main focus and our main duties are to like I said earlier, pass bylaws and ordinances that...
now, how many people on your town council?
There's 12 people on our town council. Okay. And we're subject to the majority-minority state statute, which means that no one political party can have more than 2/3 of the seats on an elected or appointed board. So right now we have 8 Republicans who sit on town council. We have 4 Democrats. There are 6 seats up for election this year. We're running 4, and there's 4 Republican-endorsed candidates and 1 that petitioned onto the ballot. So it is a contested race this year.
Interesting.
I don't like to call us the minority party because it makes it sound like it's based on voter registrations or something. It's not. But as the people who have the fewer seats, the party that has fewest seats on the town council, we will get no less than 2 seats on the board. So we're contesting another 2.
Now, one of the things New Canaan is known for is your excellent school system. I'm not sure if you're 1 or 2 in the state / in the country.
We're 1 right now. So and we're up
incredible.
there in the country.
Yeah.
The schools are our industry. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I always say, that
Yeah.
that New Canaan's industry is its schools, and we need to support that. And every investment we make into each individual student comes back to us in higher property values, in a wonderfully educated and well-rounded town.
I love that. We've had a lot of Sturmandrang
yes.
here in Greenwich because our Board of Estimate and Taxation rather surprisingly cut about $4 million out of the school budget, which has caused start times to roll earlier, tough on our students. Staff has been cut, programs cut. So there's a lot of things that I look at a bit enviously, if I will, at New Canaan, and how dedicated you are to your students, to your classrooms, to everything being first class. Literally, you guys have been ADA compliant forever. Many of our schools still are not.
Oh, that's
We're
disappointing.
still working on getting that improved. But you do have an incredibly well-run school system, and it shows.
Thank you.
It shows in the numbers.
Yeah, we do. And credit to our teachers and administration who are first class. Credit to the town bodies who have made it a priority to fund our schools to the level that they need. I think what's great about our schools is that we really dedicate resources to everyone. So to the highest achieving kids, they can take, like, I call it double secret math. My kids aren't old enough yet to be at that level, but they take these college level math classes. We have a math specialist that we hired to full-time help students with math, which also helps the kids that are sort of middle of the road, that aren't the highest achievers, or, they're still incredibly smart, incredibly driven, and they might need a little extra help. And then our special ed is just, shout out to Bill Tesbier, who runs the special ed in the New Canaan Public Schools. They are incredible.
So important.
And they really, across the entire spectrum, from SPED to high achieving, New Canaan looks at every student and says, how can you best achieve? How can you do your best? How can we support you? And I think the results bear that out.
Well, the commitment there is clear, and the results are obvious, and it just makes me so happy. And I would love Greenwich to learn from some of this, commitment. And I think we get a little waffly in our neighborhoods, but we care about our students deeply, and our school. The people in the school system here are just as dedicated, just as hardworking.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we may be shortchanging the whole system with monies, and we'll see. We have municipal elections coming up, and any Democrats that are listening right now, I am please asking you, show up and vote. Overall, we do not show up at level of 10% less than Republicans, and we are actually, there's more Democrats registered in the town of Greenwich. I don't know about you guys.
No. So interestingly, Democrats have made inroads in registrations. Our numbers have gone up. Our Republican registrations have gone down some. The biggest political party is unaffiliated.
Same. We're maybe a third.
Yeah, and we're inching up there. But for instance, my husband cannot be affiliated with a political party due to work, and I know a lot of people here work in finance, and so there's a lot of campaign contribution rules that individual financial services firms have. You can't be affiliated with a particular party, and so. And we're trying to really speak to those people who might feel like they don't have a home somewhere else. And the nice thing is, locally, we all get along great.
That's amazing.
We work really well together. And I think that that's a model to be looked at. I think that, and then on the plus side, when you're a Dem like me, you also... I feel I'm on the right side on national issues, but that doesn't really come in on a local level. So that's been most interesting to me too, is how well I've worked with my Republican colleagues. I think if you come in and you roll up your sleeves and you do the work and you're willing to do it, you really find that you have so much more in common than you think, and particularly when it comes to local issues. Who said it? LaGuardia. Mayor LaGuardia said there's no Republican or Democrat way to pave a road.
I love
which
that.
is so true.
That's so
Yeah.
good. So I mean, I'm loving that you have politics in your DNA from your mom.
Yeah.
She served in
Who's a Republican, by the
Oh, very
way.
interesting.
Yes.
So that's again another thing. Like family members, we have to be able to speak to one another.
Yes.
That you're bringing all these capabilities from your law degree. You were a litigator, psychology, forensic psychology. I mean, how lucky is the town of New Canaan to have you serving, which is incredible.
I mean, and I love it. I do. I really do enjoy it. I really don't have. I'm sure this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people. I really don't have any aspirations beyond local government, and I really like being on town council. I like to know what's going on in the town. I have young kids. I'm the primary parent to those young kids, and I think. We're the ones, we are going to be there for a long time. We're using the schools, we're using the roads, we're using the parks and rec department. Our lives really touch everything in our town.
Yes.
And, it's like I want to invest my time and money where my home is.
I love that.
And I think, you put your money where your home is, not where your money where your mouth is, but you put your money where your home is. But I really wanted to be a voice for those parents who are, if I get thrown off in the morning because a road is closed and I didn't know about it or there's something going on, it throws off my entire day. They always say, if you need something done, give it to a busy mom. And I live that truth. But I do really like it. I do.
It's incredible. So I'm going to circle back to this idea of local control. And oftentimes in the political discourse sort of throughout is it's sort of applied to 830G and affordable housing and everybody's screaming and yelling. But what I'm hearing you say, which is actually very hopeful and good, because what's going on at a national level and this intense divisiveness with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we have one side literally saying we're going to go after anyone who says anything negative. It's that to me is quite un-American. And what we need to do again is look at the model here. The model is towns like New Canaan, even towns like Greenwich, where we have a lot of disagreements, but we don't shoot each other.
Right.
Thank goodness. Although I know you've had moments of not feeling safe, and I know a lot of other people who have been running for different offices in the state have been feeling a little unsafe. But again, we can't do this right unless we talk to each other.
100%. And I think I want to echo what you said about the horrible, horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk. I, too, disagreed with most of what he said, but I will defend his right to say it. I will defend his right to live and breathe saying it. And I will, under no circumstances, should any violence, I don't condone any violence, much less political violence. So I wanted to get that out there. And I, thinking of his wife and children and his extended family and friends, it must be awful. I think there is a general tenor of discomfort, and I think it's hard not to feel that way. But I felt that way after the two state legislators were
Melissa Hortman
were shot. Yes,
and
in
her
Minnesota,
husband, and the other the state senator.
Yes, and I think I've felt that anxiety for a long time. I've been the subject of anonymous blog posts, among other things that I don't need to get into. I think we all need to take a breath. I think we all need to remember that we're neighbors, that everybody's doing their best. I'm a mom. You're going to see me in the grocery store. You'll see me at our kids' hockey practice. It shouldn't be uncomfortable or divisive when we all have, I think, the same goal, which is to have a really nice, well-run town with great schools where our kids feel safe and where we all feel safe. And I think if we can keep that in mind and keep talking to each other, it will really benefit us all. And I think, again, we can be the model. Like New Canaan is kind of a model in affordable housing. I really believe that in our state, and particularly in Fairfield County. We as elected officials should be the model for civility and polite discourse. Now, listen, I was a litigator. I can come off direct, and it's off-putting to a lot of people. I'm not meaning it maliciously. It really is, I just want to get to the point and make my point.
I love that.
And I think if you step back and look at the tone and what I'm saying and not take it as like a Democrat versus Republican and assume the worst, I assume the best in people. And I would hope they'd feel the same about me.
Well, thank you so much, Hilary Ormond. She is running for Town
Town
Council,
Council.
New Canaan. She is a Democrat. Thank you for spending some time with us today and reminding us that our local legislators are people who are here on the town level, rolling up their sleeves, helping our kids, keeping our roads paved, keeping us safe, whether through fire department, police. But we're here, we're a country, we need to come back together. We need to tone it down. We're going to go to a station break. This is WGCH 1490, also WGCH.com if you feel like streaming. We'll be right back.